So hey everybody, so it's Sunday. Well, actually it's really not. I'm totally messed up. It's Monday because it was a long holiday weekend. So I have been getting everything ready for the work week because I don't know about you guys, but a shorter work week is almost as terrible or worse than a long work week because it seems always way busy and you never get anything done. So I like to prep. That way, when my husband gets up in the morning and he gets going, he can have breakfast that's pretty easily ready to go. We've got food ready, lunches, whatever, options. So we have had some stuff in the works that we made for dinner and such, and now I'm going to prep breakfast for the week. So pancakes. We like pancakes. Pancakes make me chubby. Occasionally I love a good old-fashioned buttermilk pancake, and I still have one, but I've taken to finding other ways to make them. One of the ways that we make them that we really like, they are a coconut flour cottage cheese based pancake. So, loaded with protein. One goes a long way. I am telling you, you have one of these pancakes and like an egg or what have you, even a piece of bacon if you want, because yes, there are good choices for bacon out there. Should you eat bacon every day? No, bacon doesn't agree with me every day. Some people it does, but not me. So the protein content, because the coconut flour's got a lot of protein in it, it stays with you for a really long time. And same thing with the cottage cheese. So I don't know if you've cooked with coconut flour before, but coconut flour takes a lot of liquid when you cook with it. I'm going to put my glasses on because I have been known to add the wrong amount of spices and such when I don't have them on to read. So a quarter of a cup of flour is all you need when you're making these pancakes. Let me get my measures. I washed them. So let me dry this off really good, otherwise I'll be getting my flour all wet. So 1/4 of a cup of flour. And I should probably see first if I should mix everything together because it's been a little bit since I've had. I think, yeah, you just blend it all together. So first off, I'm going to put in the cup of cottage cheese since it's wet. I'm going to get my wet ingredients in the bottom first. So 1 cup of cottage cheese. This kind of stuff I do measure. These are not recipes that I've made. It's just easier, and people like measurements. People think they can't cook, so they want to be told exactly what to do. So here you go. Cup of cottage cheese. Put it in your bowl. And as I told you, coconut flour takes a lot of liquid. So when you cook with it, a lot of times it calls for eggs, and it calls for a lot of them, which is, like I was saying again, increasing the protein content. So it's actually going to need 4 regular eggs. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 egg whites. Generally, I have a little carton of egg whites in my refrigerator for just such an occasion, because why would I want to waste my yolks, and it's a mess to do. I'm pretty sure they're all frozen right now. Let me check. Yeah, they're all frozen. So I'm going to have to just go ahead and separate my eggs, whatever. I'm not very good at it, but I'm going to do it into the plastic one because I want to use my glass measuring cup. Let me get rid of that shell. I don't want the shell in there, darn it. Not a very good egg cracker, especially, of course, if I'm wanting to separate the yolk. Whoa, nuts. Yeah. Don't worry, left my orange cones and hazard tape in the car. Shoot. At least I didn't cuss with my sailor language, because that's what I usually do. It's okay. Let me just find something to fish that yolk out. I wish I had one of those little metal yolk separator things, the old-fashioned. You guys know what I'm talking about? I'm going to try it with this here fork and a spoon. That's right. Look at, oh, shit. Oh, there's my cussing. Sorry. It's okay. It happens occasionally. It's all right. Warning to your kids if you don't want them to hear it. It's regular language. It's fine. Okay. I'm pretty sure I heard it on primetime TV last night, right? So, there you go. It's like PG nowadays. Whoop. Hey, that's what I should do. That's what my granny did. Just use your fingers, Terry Rochelle. Just use your fingers. There, that's way easier. And normally you would save your yolk, but I'm not going to do it because it's already a mess. Okay, so there's my 2 egg whites, my 2 eggs. Let me wash this egg off my hands real fast. And I don't know if you guys have used stevia, but that's my sweetener of choice, either stevia or Swerve. And Swerve is like super diabetic friendly, so is the stevia. Woo, Let me get this whisk off super fast. Yeah, sorry. But they make all kinds of flavors. So that's what I love about that. So this one calls for vanilla cream. I'm just gonna squirt like a dropper full in there. And I'm gonna check my recipe really fast to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, I know, I missed the heavy cream. So let me get that out. Those good old-fashioned heavy whipping cream. Need like a tablespoon or so of that, if I remember correctly. It's like a tablespoon. We're gonna go with the tablespoon, right? I mean, geez, you guys, what more do you want? I'm measuring for you today. I don't like to measure. Just gonna say. Okay, so there's that. Let me get that in this cup over here. That's a mess. And I think that's everything except for the salt. And I lied. It's not a quarter of a cup of coconut flour. It's a half a cup. Good thing I double checked. I am looking for the salt. Here we go. I'm just going to put some in my hand. I think it's like a quarter of a teaspoon. That's close enough. Now I mix this with the blender because it's a mess otherwise. So half a cup of coconut flour. There you go. That's good. It's not rocket science, you guys. Don't worry about it. Okay, I'm going to blend it up really quick. Are you ready for the noise? Hold on. So I like to blend that really well because the better you blend it, you know, you're going to smooth out that cottage cheese that's in there. So, but riddle me this. So guess what else I do, especially like in the fall? Who don't love pumpkin, right? I know there's some crazy people out there that don't like pumpkin. I like pumpkin. So I'll put like pumpkin pie spice in here. I will even take and put in a little bit of organic pumpkin that's canned. I'll add that to it. My husband digs them. I dig them. They're very nice. And you can make your own homemade whipped cream. I'll have to do that sometime. You just freeze your bowl, use whipping cream, whisk it up really good. You can put, like I said, that stevia in there. You can flavor it with pumpkin spice, vanilla, coconut, what's your poison. And then cater it to your pancakes or whatever the heck you're having that you want your homemade whipped cream with, right? So the other thing that I've also done is apple pie spice, which is super good. And maybe you don't want syrup, which, you know, if you get organic honey or organic maple syrup, you can't go wrong with that, right? Some people like fruit compote on theirs. You could cook some fruit down, sweeten it with stevia again, or swerve, same thing. Use that on your pancakes or waffles. There's also a waffle recipe. I make waffles because husband likes waffles. Same kind of thing. You just need to change the consistency a bit, I believe. So I think that's it. And basically, I just do these. I mix them up. I'll cook some up and show them to you guys. But I cook them in just a small, almost like omelet pan, individually, one at a time. It's just easier. And that way they're a great size. I get the serving size out of them that way. And then I put them in a gallon Ziploc bag with some paper towels after they've cooled. And I freeze them. Or I just keep them in the freezer if we're going to eat that week. It just depends on how many I make. And then in the morning, when husband's getting ready to go to work, I can take out a couple pancakes, throw them in the toaster while I've cooked some bacon, and if he wants an egg as well, he can have an egg. And then we each have a pancake. And voila, breakfast on the go. And that way you will have breakfast all week. That is a great option. You make up some other things to go with it, and then you can still have more than one food for the week, and you're not eating the same thing all the time. So tune in later. I will cook these up, and we will show you after I'm done cooking how they turned out, and let you know. Talk soon. Okay, so you guys, finishing cooking my coconut flour cottage cheese pancakes that I'm making. And so like I said earlier, I cook them one at a time in a pan. So I use a little bit of just like regular coconut oil because I love to cook with that, and we're already there. So this has been cooking a little bit. I use a 1/4 cup measurer, and I do measure these because they're uniform that way, and they're great for people who are trying to keep an eye on what they're eating, how much. Give it a flip. So I checked it a couple of times. You could see you want to make sure it's done. So I was giving it the little slide test underneath earlier to see if it was ready or not, and it wasn't quite, so now I'm able to just slide it on down. So the one sides, you can see the ones I've already cooked. See, sometimes they're a little more done on one side, sometimes the other. But you just want to cook them well, but they're all still really nice and golden. I think they're perfect. I leave them on a cooling rack so they cool well because you don't want them to sweat. If you stack them up or sit them on something, they'll sweat and then they get all soggy and they're icky. So if you let them cook and cool individually, I think they're far better and they last through the week. And they also freeze really nice. So I will even take paper towels and I will pull one out and I'll lay like 2 down, fold a section over, lay like 2 more. And that way you can put them in the freezer. You could also use wax paper. Just put a little wax paper down and stack them in that way in a gallon Ziploc bag, because quite frankly, the ones that I make, I'm not going to leave in the fridge for a really long time, or the freezer. So there you are. These are done. And then I'll show you. So as soon as that comes out, I just take a little bit of coconut oil. I put it right in that pan. And you can see I'm cooking this really low. It's on about 2.5. Because this melts and it gets really hot, and as soon as, once it gets warm, it's fine. So it takes a little bit to warm up, but once it gets there, it's there. And so you get a 1/4 cup of the dough, and I just take my fingers, because you've washed your hands, they're clean, and then you just scoop it right out. That way there's waste not, want not. And then I just take the bottom of the measurer and I just spread it out nice and even to, about the thickness that I want, because you're not really going to get a rise with coconut flour. It's not going to rise a lot. So, you just get it how you want it. Put your size there, which is another reason why I like to cook them in these small pans. And then that way, as this cooks, you're going to get that consistency that you want. And it's going to finish up pretty much about the size you've done. See, that one's still warm. These have been cooked for a while. They're okay to probably go ahead and stack a little bit. I would feel the warmth of them though. And so these two are really cool. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of stack them a little bit, but still offset them, because you don't want them to sweat. But that's it. That's as easy as it gets. And then you saw, as I was finishing up the last pancake, as it was finishing cooking, after it sits here for a bit, you just kind of take and you just try to slide this under here. And you can see that it's not really firm enough yet. So it's still kind of stick. You can't really get that under there. So just keep letting it cook. And that's how you check it. And then when you feel like you can slip that spatula under there, go ahead and do it and give it a quick toss over. And just let it cook on the other side for a bit. And then you're done. And then that way you've got them. And you've got them for the week. You're ready to go. Breakfast in minutes.